a team's achievements from season to season.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WGLNA Season 2 Gold League. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left, that's David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. If you're not watching this on BattleViewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you. You guys can also take part of the hashtag mailbag that we are doing. We're bringing Quinn in next Thursday to answer your guys' questions directly to us, be it to David, to me, to WGLNA. So we're going to do this on stream live, and it's going to be awesome. So again, use that hashtag mailbag @WGLNA, and also you can answer for us the question of the day.
Which is, what's your favorite tier 10 tank and hold down?
Yep, not the E100.
E5.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
All right, guys.
I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
You learn the ins and outs of it. Every time you talk about the mailbag thing, I always feel like Quinn's going to be the one answering the questions. But how you describe it.
Oh.
Quinn will be asking us your questions and we'll answer them. Hey, we could probably...
That would be a segment.
Quinn could probably answer some questions.
Let's do that. Yeah,
too.
absolutely. We'll go back and forth. But yes, it is going to be him asking us your questions and we answer them. It's basically just what you probably thought it was before I said it. Ladies and gentlemen, the next battle is about to get underway. It's going to be Googlybobbers versus High Voltage on the side of Googly. We have Viral on the side of High Voltage. We've got Tofu Smurf. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off. Viral, going to go ahead and start off with you. Now, after Tuesday's matches, how are you guys feeling the new additions are kind of going for the team?
It's still a learning process for us, really. I mean, it's just a completely different process of thinking when it comes down to like the seriousness of the game and stuff like that. So it's some people have been adapting better, some people not so much. And I mean, we're really just trying to finish off this season strong. And yeah, there's not much more to it.
All right. Well, best of luck. You guys try that.
What's your favorite tank, tier 10 tank and hold down, Viral?
Hold on. I was going to go with the IS7, but I recently picked up the 113. That's just been such a blast. Like, hold down in pubs, it's fantastic. Yeah, I'd have to go with 113.
I, too, for some reason, have amazing games in the 113 in pubs. I still can't figure out why.
Really? It's just a mystery.
There's things about it where it's like, it shouldn't be this good.
Well,
It's
right.
I don't know.
Gonna try out the
Freakish.
Gonna try the 113 now. Thank you so much, Viral. Toby Smurf, now going to go over to you. After Tuesday's match against Wk7, you guys picked up 5 victories in a row, so congratulations on that. Seemed to struggle a bit, though, on Cliffs. What happened?
Just rewatching it, I mean, because I wasn't playing, so I got to watch it as it was happening and listen to it. It just seemed like a lot of, I think we let ourselves down in terms of personal play. I didn't really see a problem with a lot of the strats or anything like that. We talked about it. It was just a lot of bouncing, a lot of bad focus fire, and that's just something that shouldn't be happening, especially with the caliber of a team we have here.
All right. Well, good luck as you guys kind of get that back together. And again, fantastic 5 victories in a row. Very impressive.
Well, simple problems are often simple to fix, so that's actually a good thing in the long run.
Right.
It's better than losing for reasons you don't understand. And then you're like,
that's true.
Well, now we're done.
That's true.
All right, Tofu, what is your favorite non-German tier 10 tank and hold down?
The answer is still Mouse. I figure if I say enough good things about it, sometimes they'll be true.
Wow. All right. So sticking to your guns, that the kind of slow and steady wins the race approach.
It was Blue Mini that said that the mouse was awesome on Himmelsdorf, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Caller wanted.
Yeah.
So we should have an exhibition match, and we can find that out because apparently you're both like
mouse lovers,
evangelists.
Yeah, mouse
We're
lovers.
both very smart. Yeah.
Mice lovers.
Sile is known for his IQ.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for both of those amazing.
Only one a season.
Amazing
Tofu.
answers.
That was my one.
Viral. Before we get started, anything you'd like to say to Tofu Smurf?
Good luck, have fun. I mean, standard stuff.
Sure. Tofu Smurf, your response.
Just have fun. I was kind of hoping today would be Zambi because I haven't seen that beautiful guy for like 3 seasons, so maybe next time.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Best of luck to both of you, and we'll see you shortly. I'm sure they can Skype later or something.
Zambo.
Zambo!
He's talking about zombie food for Googlybobbers, who's calling Zambi. Googlybobbers and High Voltage rosters up there. High Voltage picking up Rat Thief, who in game is known as Miriel Scarata, I believe. Wow, apparently a good player. Yet to see a whole lot of them. And here we go. If we're talking about potential upsets, it's about as high as it gets.
This is going to
We
be
got rank
one
2
of
versus
them.
rank 12. Googlybobbers preferring Himmelsdorf. High Voltage preferring Cliff. T22 and 140. Again, similar-ish tanks. I mean, if the T22 wasn't an option, you'd probably see a lot more 140s from both teams. Viral and Ox Thief being their 2 respective leaders. And we will see exactly how well these 2 match up. Googlybobbers have made a lot of improvements after picking up Air Tie and Zone Delta.
Okay.
But is it enough for High Voltage? High Voltage has had some faltering steps, but they've done that against teams that are experienced in a lot of ways, and they haven't really been that grandiose. In my opinion, it looks to me, anytime, I'll put it this way, I'll take it away from High Voltage in particular, or any particular teams. Anytime I see 2 teams go head-to-head and one team loses, one team kind of backs off and runs away. It's typically how it works.
Okay.
If 2 teams go head-to-head and nobody backs off and just one team wins, it's like, it's hard to really, probably positional stuff, maybe just some raw player skill.
Okay.
When one team kind of backs off and the other team just gets more aggressive, typically I view that as a couple of things. Confidence is one. You don't want to look stupid in front of your teammates. It's a big thing, especially when you have new people on the roster.
Sure.
So you kind of tend to get scared and back off a little bit more. But also, a lot of times it's communication, and those 2 go hand in hand. Communication will boost the confidence in something else.
Makes
the reason
sense.
I'm bringing this up is not because of anything in particular with High Voltage, but because that's what Cliff is all about. We'll get back to that. We don't have Cliff tonight,
No,
so unfortunately it won't be contextually related.
we have steps right now, ladies and gentlemen. Googlybobbers starting on defense, High Voltage on offense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Googlybobbers with an IS-7 and E5, 2 140s, an STB, a TVP, and RU-251. High Voltage with an IS-4, 121. We haven't seen that yet. A 907, 2 T22s, a TVP, and an FE-207.
Ox Thief.
2 things we haven't
Yeah,
seen
the
so far in
207
league.
either.
1, British artillery
take
getting pushed by Bird.
Look at that. Look at that battle, buddy.
Teammates gotta help out where they can. This is one of those situations. Arclit.
No one's below it.
Let's tank skip
Or
the
above
gym for a little bit, putting on a little bit of extra weight. But Bird can handle that. Bird doesn't skip leg day.
No.
That's an interesting push
Yeah.
just to get to there.
Yeah.
That must be incredibly slow. Haven't played that one in particular myself. He's just gonna take a shot, but it doesn't pay off. My guess is that went into the boost spot just in case somebody was boosting. I didn't get to see the other end of that. But we can also check out the
121.
121. This is something you don't see very often. You know, this is a tank I have played twice.
Really?
Both times, I didn't have a big problem with it. I mean, its depression is essentially non-existent.
Okay.
But it's got a pretty decent gun, and I'm not super familiar enough with it to comment really on the armor scheme. Granted, at tier 10 with everybody firing premium rounds, armor scheme is important-ish, but not a gigantic deal most of the time.
Okay.
Not for mediums, at least. It depends. It's
So-
super positional stuff. So it gets to a situation where your armor matters less than your position,
Ooh.
but your armor can enable new positions.
Urtai!
And dang, Urtai going down on the outside, getting lit up by 4 different people all at the same time from what I was able to see there. And that's going to be a dramatic problem for Googlybobbers, as we've discussed before. And anytime you're playing a large map with a lot of rotation power,
Scouts.
you cannot afford to lose the scout.
Yeah.
And the scout was the #1 answer they had to Arclit's 207. Now, High Voltage doesn't need to worry about somebody coming in behind it, which is a gigantic advantage
It's a
for
huge
them.
advantage for High Voltage.
Let's
Wow.
see. I'm going to keep an eye over here on Zone Delta. And Arclit undoubtedly focusing in on Zone right now. One shot coming out. You
There
see
it
land.
is!
427 landing on the back of Zone Delta. Now, that's not going to be a lot of damage in a single shot, but see how fast you can see him reloading there in the background. It's not going to be long before he gets another shot out. And trust me,
Oh, Zone Delta.
Delta getting lit up from a number of angles there. That was not good. Ox doing quite a bit in the 121. If I understand it correctly, the 121's alpha is pretty significant
Okay.
for a medium tank.
Check out the reload. Yeah, not bad
And
reload
its
at all.
penetration must be great because it's absolutely ripping up Zone Delta. Zone Delta's going to have to back off. Arclit adding in another shot there. I have always preferred, we've talked about M40, M43 a lot. Now, the GW Panther isn't really viable at tier 10. Not
Okay.
really, not anymore. It
Okay.
used to be my favorite artillery in the game.
Really?
Absolutely. High accuracy, just ripped out shots very quickly. Hold on, Bird's going down over here in a TVP fight to Zombie Food.
Oh, taking a good chunk of damage there. 1599. Zombie Food, though, now on the reload. Bird Thief is reloading himself. He's going to run away. He looks like he should be able to get out of there safely. Zombie Food still has about halfway to go. And Thief coming to join him. Meanwhile, Valkyrie Vuas taking a shot there from Wallhack. Zombie Food takes some as well. Now 50-51. And here comes the Cavalry for High Voltage. Our Ant Thief doing a good amount of damage, scaring Zombie Food off and saving Bird Thief there in that situation. Talk about a battle, buddy. Oh, Valkyrie trying to get that position to scout out, but no one is on the cap anymore, and he's going to pay for it with his life. Wallhacks taking him down there. Zone Delta should be falling any second, I would assume. He gets close enough, just barely dodging a shot from Ox Thief. He's trying to get some back on him. If he doesn't get out there quickly, Ox will be able to take this shot going down. Oh, it looks like he's actually focusing over on Rival, Viral, excuse me, in that IS-7. 309 going into him, and looks like High Voltage, they're not even going to care about the cap. They're just going to end it.
Developing over here as a 907 and 2 T22s.
Bye.
Sorry, 1 T22 coming up and over. They're going to pick off Viral almost for free, followed by Zone Delta, as there is 0 chance for him to escape with the mobility problems that he has in that tank, and 1 shot left. There he goes down to Blue Boys on the move. Tiger Thief taking 313 into the back from Tuxilla. Not enough to really flex him down. He's going to go ahead and push right across the open here, relying on Blue Boys behind him to suppress Tuxilla so he can get a little bit closer, get his DPM to bear. 140 versus 907. 907 has a pretty sizable lead in the DPM, so they can go head-to-head, especially the HP differential. And Tiger Thief will win that, even without Ant, but Ant and Ox coming in to help clean that up. And this is going to go even worse for Googlybobbers any second now, as High Voltage coming in for the kill.
Arclet also landing a shot there in the FE207. A fantastic, good chunk of damage on the Zombie Food, who will go down to Ox Thief. 7 Tesla, the last one remaining. Not much she can do against High Voltage here. All 7 members still alive. Ant Thief going in for the ram. 878 going right into her face. T-Bird, Bird Thief going through. Blue Boys captain takes out 7 Tesla. And that's going to be High Voltage picking up their first victory against the Googlybobbers there. So the 207, just quick reload, fairly accurate. Like you said, not a ton of damage. 407 though, not a little.
It's you're going for quantity over, I don't know, quality is a rough word to say. Let's go look at the statistics first, and then we'll come back to this. So, starting off for Googlybobbers, 1.8 out of 7 Tesla, 1.7 out of Zombie Food, 1.3 out of Tux, and 1.2 out of Zone Delta. Zone Delta, I mean, you saw how much damage he took. He only bounced 440. That's brutal. Ox, 121 putting in work. 4K. 2.1 out of the T22 driven by Blue Boys. 1.8 out of Arclit. He got 7 shots off in that fight. 7. That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
And out of it, he got, he damaged 2 targets for a grand total of 1841.
Wow.
That's a good amount of focus.
Sure.
And that leads into some of the other things we're talking about. Tiger with 1.8, Ant with 1.8. Wally playing his typical role as kind of a support, clutch, positional player in the IS-4, just not being allowed to get into the fight there. And Bird getting absolutely lit up pretty early, so he had to stay out. The 207. So yeah, you're going for quantity and accuracy.
Okay.
So you're just firing shots. You're not going to get that huge strike for 900. I mean, you might, maybe, I think.
High roll.
I don't. Well, it has to do with penetration and whatnot. I don't actually know what the top damage is for the 207. I would assume it's possible to do 900 or so, as most already can. It's just very, very unlikely. You have to get a full penetration with an HE round to get that.
Okay.
It almost never happens.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say almost never. On an E5, whatever. I can get pedantic about it all day. If you engine deck a tank, if you land it flat on the top of the engine deck,
down,
or directly on top of the roof in a lot of tanks, then yes, you can get a penetration for quite a bit.
All right, here. Now let's see if they're going to bring it on defense or if they're going to go back to something a little more standard, as Googly is now on offense. Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Engine deck's my favorite. If a tank's driving away from you, because then their turret's kind of like a backboard. If you think about it, it's like a right angle. So you just launch it in there, and if you overshoot a little bit, back of the turret, good enough. Googlybobbers with 2 Leopard ones, a 140 and STB, T22 a TVP and 1390. High Voltage with an IS-7, a Batchat, and STB, 2 T22s, 2 T54s.
High Voltage going very aggressive over the railroad tracks here. Getting ready for a northern cap from Googlybobbers, but Googlybobbers might not be giving it to him. Looks like they're heading toward the eastern side, but now it looks like they're actually going up the center road. And a lot of those members of High Voltage have now gotten over undetected. Urtai, if we see him go for that scouting that he usually does again here over the rail, he's going to be in for a world of hurt. So High Voltage obviously setting up here. Now, David, what High Voltage has done, putting all but one of their members here over on the northern side. If Googlybobbers were to go for the east, I mean, is High Voltage super cut out now?
Yes. I mean, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yes. If Googlybobbers knew what was going on, took everything they had over there, put them in the right positions, it should be virtually impossible for High Voltage to win at that point.
We talked about how this northern area is like, if you do know that the team is here. Anthief getting spotted out now in that T22, so Googlybobbers do know that they're there, and they are starting to rotate to the east. Let's see if High Voltage gets the memo and gets over there in time, if they're going to kind of stay here.
I don't know if that was a meta gamble or they're banking on some sort of trap that they're setting up here. They are getting enough motion at enough time to come back and actually have a brawl here. Is mostly, I guess, expecting Googlybobbers not to step on as fast as possible. But Googlybobbers still has a little bit of a window to take some of these positions, or at least draw High Voltage into positions that they can do damage on. Focusing too much on the cap would be a gigantic detriment. Leaving that 1390 to come in from behind would be a great boon to their play overall. If they can get some of the lower road positions and get some of the angles to prevent people from coming up and over the top on Zone Delta with a little bit more angles down the zero line here, which it looks like they do have Valkyrie Vuos back there. Probably not enough as he's not heavily armored. But what I'm trying to say is Googlybobbers does have a lot of options going for him. High Voltage still has plenty of time to bring this game back, but Ox taking 724 on the outside.
Well, riding that bat chest, 7 Tesla doing a great job from the corner, dishing that out to him, and now another shot drawing right over on the side of Tiger Thief.
Oh, here we go.
Takes some as well. High Voltage now coming in. They're scaring Zone Delta off the cap, doing good chunk of damage to him as well. Going to put him right in the face of Arclet and Ox Thief here. Not a good position if you're in a T22 at all. Let's see how Googlybobbers respond. They're going to respond with 943 into the side of Blue Boy's captain here. Arclet is going to take down Zone Delta. The first tank fallen for the side of Googlybobbers, but they are up in HP. High Voltage now has to find some more tanks. Zombie Food is going to be the next one, it looks like. Wallhacks picks him up just in time before he gets around the corner there. The Bird Thief was chasing. They should have got through. Blue Boy's captain going in. Anthief with the ram. 7 Tesla gone, and now down to just 4 for Googly. Viral takes out Wallhacks. The first tank fallen for High Voltage here. 5 minutes on the clock. The cap pressure is now gone for Googlybobbers. High Voltage has 6 members against the 4 of Googly. They're continuing to just whittle down Viral and Tuxzilla there in the STD1 and the Leopard 1. Anthief taking a little bit for poking out, maybe a little too far here. And here comes Urtai from the back. He just let go his entire clip, and now Oxy from the back chat is just going to farm it up. Over 1,000 points of damage there. The final one takes him down. Oxy finds Urtai. Tiger Thief takes down Tuxzilla, leaving just Valkyrie and Viral left to defend, or to attack, I should say, and defend their lives. It's not going to be possible. Arclet takes down Viral, leaving just Valkyrie. Another victory now for High Voltage here on defense. It's a very aggressive northern push, still worked out for him in the end.
Valkyrie Vuos moments away from death
Oh,
as High Voltage extends their lead 2-0.
nice ram there coming in for Anthief. Like David said, congratulations to High Voltage there. So, talking about how a huge, gigantic mistake for Googlybobbers in that situation would be to focus on the cap pressure, to focus on cap.
Would have
Rather
been.
than
They didn't.
right. So
But
so
would have
rather
been.
than isolating High Voltage from those northern positions, coming back down to fight them, what they did still didn't work out. Was it for another clear reason, or was that just brawl head to head? High Voltage won.
They left the most critical lane to come back into the fight wide open.
Okay.
That's the problem. So when you can come directly down the western side of that ridge and pour up and over with 4 or 5 mediums all at the same time, you've been given a lot of room.
Danger.
Somebody should be able to see that coming. So at least when they attempt to crest the ridge, you have all of your guns for Googlybobbers, just light them up. Now, Googlybobbers could have done, should have done a lot better than they did. Let's go ahead and look at statistics, as I'm fairly certain we're going to see a whole lot of bounces.
All right.
Let's start with High Voltage. 2.6 out of Ant, 2.3 out of Arclet, 2.1 out of Tiger Thief, 1.9 out of Blue Boys, 1.6 out of Bird, 1.3 out of Ox.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. Didn't want to bet on this match. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
It's all going to depend on who just gets the shots.
I see why.
Over here for Googlybobbers, 2.4 out of Valkyrie Vuos. The only person stood off enough to get a lot of those shots in. Viral, 1.9. Again, similar story. 1.5 out of 7 Tesla, 1 out of Tuxzilla. Now, you can just look at this. 3 bounced out of 1, 2 bounced, 3 bounced, 3 missed. I mean, just horrible accuracy penetration rates from Googlybobbers. I saw so many shots just bounce off low shot tanks or not focus fire appropriately. Their strategy was to spread out and draw damage on people when they came back. But when you do a spread defense of any type, and they are an offense, but a spread control.
Yeah.
Let's go to the game first.
And then we'll talk about that.
And then we'll talk about
Maybe we can drop the map as well. Ladies and gentlemen, High Voltage up 2-0 against Googly. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Maybe we can draw. Googlybobbers with an IS-7, 2 140s, and STB, sorry, 2 STBs. TVP RU-251. High Voltage with an IS-4, 121, a 907, 2 T-22s, TVP, and FV-207.
Bringing it back.
Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. So, all High Voltage did was come in here. Now, you can spot that out by having a tank here in this bush area, so you can see anything coming down here. Problem is, he just gets isolated and killed. So, down here is typically better, or sometimes out here on the other side, you can angle in and see all of this coming. When they then come over here, you should be able to get shots at them as they poke up and over. But there are ridges that protect tanks in and around this area. So when you're trying to get shots in from these angles, all High Voltage did was exploit the fact that that spread control from all these different places was not going to be able to link up right here. And that is a very, very consistent thing with how Steps works. This is one of the reasons why I've talked about Steps in the past being a very brutal map to learn how to play well. Hold on here. Googlybobbers just going to go hard over the south side. We're not playing those games and letting Arclids 207 rip us up. We're going to go try and get Bird right off the bat.
All right, let's see if he can escape. He is now, looks like I don't know if he just reloaded.
He sent off 2 shots, 2 to 3, and then just clipped. Just because he knew he wasn't going to have good ones and he wanted to be back in the fight.
No, that's a wise choice. Let's see if it's going to count. Can Googlybobbers, will they let him get around the corner? 720, they're going at him, dropping him just above half. He's continue on the run. He's got to be careful, though. If he pops out, Tuxzilla7 tests a viral. All have the shots, and there they go. Right to the side of Bird. They have 648, but he has made it around the next stretch of time. That was just possibly what he needed to do. And High Voltage are just going hard for the cap. They know a lot of the members of Googlybobbers are down the south, kind of killing precious time for them. 13 seconds now on the clock. Ox, Anthief, and Blue West Captain are sitting up. Let's see if Wallhacks can stop Valkyrie Bulas for finding the reset as well as Urtai, because they're going fast. They need to find this, or High Voltage will. Quick, Captain. Valkyrie and Zombie actually slamming on the brakes. The cap getting down to 1 second. Anthief, though, getting reset just in the final second there. That is all Googlybobbers needed to hold on. 7 Tesla finds Arclid. The 207 now is down. The artillery gone. High Voltage forgetting about the cap and now just going for the head-to-head brawl, though they are a tank down and HP. Let's see if they come out on top. Viral takes down Bird Thief right there. A huge pickup coming out from Googlybobbers. Zombie Food not taking too many shots in return. High Voltage has to be careful. So Delta fight Tiger Thief. That is 3 tanks now gone in a row for High Voltage here, and not a single one dropped for Googly. Finally, Blue West Captain finds Zombie Food, but he'll be going down quickly to Tuxzilla. Left and right, these tanks are falling. Oxthief gonna be the next one to fall. 1172 going to that 121. He goes down to Viral, leaving just Wallhacks and Anthief. It looks like Googlybobbers is gonna find a victory here on offense, or on defense, excuse me, against High Voltage. Viral finds Anthief. It is just Wall surrounded. Nowhere he can go. He knows it. He's just staring at a rock. Now he's turning. Zone Delta picks him up there, and that is going to be Googlybobbers' first victory of our 3rd match of the night. I like what High Voltage did there. You know,
I don't.
Keep going. I'll finish it. I like what they did there. Obviously, they saw a lot of members in the south, so they put the cap pressure on and try to go the cap fast. The only thing that they did differently, which worked out for, I think, a DNA when they did it, is they stopped. You know, they rammed right into the members and made them hit the brakes and not get the shots off from the center road. So they didn't quite have that situation.
One of many different things that DNA did better when they did that. Let's go into the stats first, just to make sure we get them out of the way. Valkyrie View us in SCB 2.2, Zone Delta 2.1, 7 Tesla 2000, Tuxzilla 1.7, Viral, and Airtype roughly 1.3. Even Zombie Food almost getting 1,000 in, even though he got pretty annihilated pretty fast.
Wow.
Over here, for High Voltage, just a clear example of all sorts of problems. 1.7 out of Ant, 1.4 out of Ox, 1.2 out of Wallhacks, 1 out of Tiger. And that's pretty much it.
319-0-0. Yeah.
So I saw how many tanks on cap?
They had 3.
No, but they had at least 3. They had more than that, though, didn't they?
No, there was some that are just near it, but I'm pretty sure there's only 3.
I have to ask then, what is the point of that?
Hmm.
So you know how everybody's in the south?
Mhm.
They did send some people there to kind of block the middle.
Right.
Nobody worried about the eastern flat,
Yeah.
where Airtie just
Where
drove
and he got it.
straight across it in an RE-251, which is, they could have killed him by the time it got there. If even one tank had been looking.
Really?
Yeah, and then he got a reset,
that
a
sounds-
super
that's-
huge
yeah,
clutch reset.
that was it. That was at
If
the
you're
end.
gonna put 3 on cap, and that's your point, is to pressure. Any additional tanks are almost pointless unless you don't think that people can reset all the tanks that are there.
That makes sense.
But-
that makes sense.
That's just such a huge gamble for no reason. They had it. When you pressure people to come back that quickly, you're gonna win. You're gonna do so much damage to them.
Right, they're out of
in their
position.
panic,
They're the
you will
ones
win.
going through. Right. All right. Will High Voltage maybe just fumbling that one there. Googlybobbers picking up a victory. Let's see if they can tie it up, or will High Voltage make the victory 3-1? Let's take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Googlybobbers with an IS-7, a Leopard 1, a 142 STBs, a TVP, and an RE-251. High Voltage with an IS-7, a Bat Shattered STB, 2 T-22s, and 2 T-54s.
All right. So no more
They're going
artillery.
to go north again.
Yeah.
And Googlybobbers are going to go northwest.
All right. So this time might be working out better for High Voltage, unless I think it was Anthief last time popped over the top there and got spotted out. Maybe this time we'll just kind of stay a little more hidden. But that kind of going back before we kind of go off the last one, that absolutely does make sense. If your goal is to pressure the northern cap, then don't have 3. Have those guys, have the other ones just in different positions to stop them.
If we were still going with a tank beauty competition, I don't know if it's Leopard 1 or the STB that wins my heart the most.
Leopard 1 is
They're
an
both
awesome,
gorgeous.
awesome looking tank. Oh,
STB is
Urtai.
so beautiful.
Oh, Urtai. Here we go. He pops up, taking 1107, but he's going to, no! Arklet takes him out there right at the end, and now that is a scout gone. But Googlybobbers, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say but Googlybobbers.
That is the
they know
second
what- they know
time
where they're
this
at.
round that Airtie has just met a whole lot of pain from High Voltage.
All right, now let's see what Googlybobbers can do as being a scout down. We talked about on a map that is so big, so vast. It's such a detriment for any team. Googlybobbers have lost theirs very early on. Only about a minute and 20 seconds have gone by. Tuxzilla Viral being now lit by most of the members of High Voltage who are all there. The only member not is Oxthief in that bat chat, sitting back, making sure no one comes around for the flank.
Googlybobbers definitely playing directly into what High Voltage wants
They're
them
just
to do
staying.
right now. This is one of those situations where you can get fixated on something obvious, and that is the exact wrong answer. 2 caps wide open if you're going to do that. You can still have time to rotate back the other way and get it done, but either way, they're going to step up and try and focus on Anthief first. They're going to pay the price as the rest of High Voltage lies just in waiting, just on the tracks.
Anthief, though, still staying alive. 307 going to him. He gets another shot out before he goes down, but Tiger Thief finds Tuxzilla before that happens. Viral's the one to take down that T-22. 2 tanks down for Googlybobbers, just 1 for High Voltage. And now the rest of High Voltage ready and waiting for Googly. But Tiger Thief taking a lot of that STB-1. Viral taking some as well. Now Wallhacks picking up 7 Tesla. Tiger Thief 1 more shot away from death. Let's see if he can stay alive long enough to get that final shot out. No! Valkyrie View is going to pop over Leopard 1 and take it to him. Zombie Food staying safe as he is on reload over the other side of the tracks. Meanwhile, Wallhacks taking 469 there. That T-54 is Zone Delta. 1 more shot away. Bouncing a few in that I-7. So we'll see if this one has a lot of armor. Wallhacks going right underneath and taking it out. Oxthief now coming to join the fight. He is almost reloading that batch yet. And once he is here, that is the nail in the coffin. The nail in the coffin for Googlybobbers. Valkyrie View was dodging some shots there, staying alive. Possibly a little too long, but it's not going to matter. Oxthief, 1 shot going to Viral. Bird Thief takes on Valkyrie. And now Zombie Food and Viral are on the run, but not sure where they're going to try to run to.
Track shot.
678 going in. That's just the best, right? It's just, oh, you're running away? No, you're not. I'm just going to stop you. And now, oh, Viral as well. You running away? No, you're not. The rest of the team is just going to take you down. Zombie Food, 321 going into him. Oxthief going to finish him off as well. Blue Boys captain quickly going to end that STB-1's life. And that's going to be High Voltage picking up their 3rd victory now. 3-1 against Googlybobbers as we end out steps. So that is obviously what High Voltage is looking for when they go for that northern over-the-rail push. Waiting for a scout or someone to come over early, light him up and take him out. We've seen other teams.
Absolutely.
We've seen other teams when this has happened realize that and then just get out of there and run. Well, like you said, just the kind of maybe the mistake for Googly is just sitting there and letting High Voltage do exactly what they wanted.
We got some nice low ground profile shots to see, in particular Blue Boys position at T-22. If you go back and watch the VOD at some point, you can see exactly what we're about to talk about. completely turned around T-22, where you're only able to hit the side armor when it pokes out from behind a rock. The entire rear armor is protected, and you have no front pike to shoot.
Hashtag
You're
effective.
not going to win that fight.
Hashtag effective.
So essentially what High Voltage has done here is they figured out a way to guarantee you cannot come up and over the rails. So they own that part of the map. All they have to do from that point forward is figure out how to transition from that place to everywhere else and how to figure out the timetable for where they want to go when. Let's go to stats first.
Go.
2.2 out of Viral, 1.9 out of Zombo, 1.7 out of Valkyrie Viewus, and everybody else pretty much getting trucked. Over here for Ox Thief, 2.7 in the Bat Chat.
Yeah.
And 2.3 in the, Wallhacks, 2.3 in the T54. Arclet 2000, Blue Boys 1.8, Tiger Thief 1.7, Bird Thief 1.4.
No, come on.
I'm not giving it to
No, come on. It's 1 point. We do have Googlybobbers taking a timeout. Who did the most? Who bounced the most there? Can we check it out real quick? We do have a timeout coming
We've
up
got
for
Arclet
Googlybobbers,
with
so we got time.
1.4.
Oh.
It was Arclet.
Okay.
1.4.
Oh.
Zone Delta.
IS7.
IS7 2.4. And he's gonna win.
There
on
we go.
that one.
So an
Not
IS7.
enough.
No, not enough. But that's the first time that we saw an IS7 taking the victory for the most bounce there in a battle. So talking about kind of now what High Wolves need to do, they guarantee them they have the northern part of the map, and now they just have to find a way to transition to the rest.
Right. So then they have Ox there in the east to do some scouting and a bat chat. They know if anybody comes after Ox, he's going to dump his clip into him. All he has to get is one shot of assistance from somebody else to virtually guarantee he's going to win that fight if it's a 1v1. He can do those loops. He's a great skill player. I mean, the only other person you might use for that is Wallhacks. But it depends on the tank. Maybe Wally doesn't like bad chat, so he doesn't want to scout in it.
Sure.
But Ox is a great player. He can do it too. So he just manages the East, and he's looking for certain cues at certain times, and they know their timetables. This is how it has to be. Now, I haven't spoken to them directly about this at all. I guess. No, I think it's okay. So...
Like reverse unsecret
well,
giving?
you know when people, they're like, I'm not going to tell you any spoilers, but you're going to be surprised. And you're like, well, that's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to avoid not to do that, but whatever. I'll work out whether I just did something I shouldn't later. In the meantime, when it comes to steps, all they have to do is figure out the timetables for everything else, how to get back, how they're going to approach it based on what they see at certain times. And it's easy, and that's how you build a very good dynamic strategy.
And I can see that working beautifully on steps if timed rightly. But right now, we are going to Pro Rovka. Let's see if these teams have figured out an aggressive way to play this map and make David extremely happy or not. Up 3-1 is High Wolves. Just go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
I'd say somebody's going for it. Looking at what I see here, both of them have the RU-251s, which is going to be important for seeing who's coming and where to go. Googlybobbers with a 260, a 140, 2 T22s, and 2 TVPs. High Voltage with an IS-7 and Action X, 2 140s, 2 STBs, and RU-251. Googlybobbers going west, apparently. I was actually fairly certain they weren't, given the TVPs. I guess that makes sense. I always kind of look at TVP as a modern-day Tier 10 T69.
Okay.
And in the past, if you want to go up and over, T69s were perfect. Just showed up and annihilated people. High Voltage doing a deep scout from Wallhacks. Up a very consistent line up the 4 line, which gives them the ability to choose where they want to go from there, west or east. A very nice strategy and some great opening shots on Valkyrie Viewus, who's going to be dead to rights to all 5 of these tanks.
There are some shots going at him. 405,
bounces.
but not a lot. As I say, a lot of bounce shots coming up on 260, and High Voltage actually taking more damage for that push.
Oh, Wally's at risk. Wally's way down the 1 line, but he's got to get these spots for the rest of his team to get those shots in from the middle. He has to get into a vector that will be protected, but he is getting shot from a lot of different areas, and now he's into the bowls where things start to equalize. High Voltage needs to counter push to make all of this work.
And they're doing it right now. 781 going to Viral. Valkyrie Viewus takes some shots as well. Blue Boys captain, though, taking a flak. 673, over 1,000 points of damage. 1346. He might go down here if he cannot get out in time, but it looks like he is just barely. Tiger Thief, though, is the one who's going to be in some trouble. 7 Tesla finally ending Wallhacks in that scout. And now it's going to be up to High Voltage to respond. Let's see how they do. Urtai still alive and well, wrapping very much around over to the northern side. We'll see where he kind of comes into play a little bit later here. Tiger Thief 1 shot away, and then SB1. High Voltage a scout down. They're continuing to take damage. And Googlybobbers starting to aggressively push.
Oh, the opportunity's blown by High Voltage there. They had 2 tanks guaranteed dead.
Really?
A 3rd definitely in hand. And the only thing that would have been left to stop them from there was a bunch of TVPs, which are going to have a time to clip and give you all the time in the world to move around. They're not single-shot tanks. They're just going to add it up. focus on what's happening now as Googlybobbers are taking out Arclit with 2 shots. Valkyrie Vios and Tuckzilla bringing him to a close. 7 Tesla Zombie Food getting a little bit down. They are going to focus out Bird Thief, Tiger Thief. This, to me, is very, very over. We do have a little bit of a fight going on
Blue
here.
Boys.
Blue Boys versus Airtie. This is winnable for both people. Let's see if it develops into anything super exciting. Airtie bouncing a very critical shot. Blue Boys getting a return fire on the RU-251. It may not kill him, though.
Let's see, going up on the top. It does. It does. It does. Caster Curse, always stronger. Valkyrie Vios taking down Tiger Thief. Ox Thief falls quickly. And that fight in the north between Blue Boys and Airtie is not going to account to anything as the rest of his team is falling. Valkyrie and Zombie Food a quick double kill, taking down 2 of the Thieves, leaving just a Blue Boys captain to fall to Zombie Food. Googlybobbers picking up their first victory. Or sorry, their second victory, their first one onto Prorovka against High Voltage. So just the missed opportunities. I'm sorry.
I gotta say,
I don't
actually have a horse in this race.
No.
There are definitely times where you'll see me shaking my head.
No, I feel like
or
brings
like
back
or saying
memories.
something like "Go do this," as
Yeah.
though I'm like rooting for that person's side. I really don't care. It's just I hate seeing great plays blown. It drives me nuts.
This is why you're over here. This is why this is the
It
perfect
drives
job for you.
me crazy. Let's
Perfect.
go to the statistics while I decompress for a moment.
Let's breathe. You want me to do them?
I'm a hot little potato right now. 3.5 thousand damage from Zombie Food, 3.1 for Tuxilla,
Oh, gosh.
1.9 for
Someone make that.
1.9 for 7 Tesla. I said 1.9. I guess that's the new 1,000. Let's just do that.
Just none.
Zone Delta 1.6, Valkyrie Vios 1.5. Over here for High Voltage. A lot of bounces. You're going to see this. Pay attention right here while I read the numbers, and you'll see. Ooh, nice block, though. Ox Thief with 2,000, Bird with 1.5, Ant Thief with 1.3, Blue Boys with 1.2, Arclit with 1.9.
Wow, 1.9 indeed. Before we move on, guys, please, someone with Photoshop skills, David Williams.
Somebody's already on.
a hot little potato. So, just the.
I wish I could draw at this point in time so I could explain how easy that was to win. Steps. Sorry, Prorovka. We talked a bit about how Mines was a map that I love to play.
Yeah,
quite
like
a bit.
your team
I
dominated.
loved Prorovka, aside from Season 4, where the meta developed where everybody knew all the answers to everything. But before that, I mean,
Yeah, that sounds like
you
would
give
be
the
fun.
Russians enough time, they'll figure out how to camp a map that's flat. And you're like, how is that possible? They do it. They do it every time. And
Camp that
eventually
flat
the rest
map.
of the regions learn how to do it, and it just shuts down everything, and you
Sure.
can't really play it.
Sure.
And that's part of the
Makes
reason.
it unfun.
You got to change the format around a little bit, add new tanks in to keep things fresh. Otherwise,
Change the
everything-
terrain.
Everything becomes a cookie-cutter recipe. Prorovka fell victim to that at one point, but we're getting into the battle, and maybe it'll stag. Well, let's just get into it, because
Let's see what we got for our tanks.
yeah, let's do that. Googlybobbers with a 260, an E5, a Batchat, an STB, 2 TVPs, an RE51, High Woltage with an IS7, 2 STBs, 2 WZ111 1.4s, and 2 Object 263s. I guess they're going west. I mean, it'd be absurd not to at that point. And I don't know what they're going to do from there.
All right, we got Ox back in that tank destroyer. Let's see how he does. Right up the center.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. I was wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong-ish, I will say. I see the intent. I see the intent. It can totally work. Just will it? Is an entirely different question. Arclit taking a little bit of damage. Zombo getting caught out a little bit here on the ridge as High Voltage pumping the brakes maybe a tad early. You got to wait, back up those 263s. The whole game plan here is to go big right in the center. 263s coming up and over. Mediums better go with them or High Voltage is going to decompose real fast.
Oh, Zone Delta find those 263s, but Arclit 1,018 going into him. 1432, one more shot, and he'll be going down. Let's see if he can get to safety. It looks like he might be. Meanwhile, the rest of High Voltage pushing over the top. They need to take advantage of this right now. 473 going to the 260 Valkyrie Vios. 1,300 right into his face. And the final shot from Tiger Thief is going to end him. 7 Tesla does find wall hacks, but Ox Thief takes down Zone Delta. 2 tanks gone for Googlybobbers, who are now 2 for High Voltage as Anthe falls to 7 Tesla. Her second kill of the match. Tuckzilla barely holding on there. 771 going to that E5. One more shot from Bird Thief, and that is going to end him. He takes it. He finds it. And that is good. 7
What is
Tesla.
going on over here?
Still on the
How is
back.
Arclit still alive?
You know,
I do not understand that. He went broadside to 2 TVPs, didn't he?
I don't know.
One, yeah, something like that. I don't know. He's alive. One TVP and something else. Maybe a bad chat.
Alive and
He's
well.
alive. I don't know.
Hey,
I literally
he's
can't
Arclet.
even right now.
Hey, he's Arclet, David.
Literally can't
He
even.
can do anything. Zombie food sitting back, still unspotted, and it's just going to be high voltage, starting to apply that cat pressure over on the north. Blue Boys captain, the I-7. He's not even worried about being in a bush right now. They feel that confident. Ox Thief
I know something Arclet can do.
taking some shots. Oh, well, he can die.
He can't be a submariner. Oh, you haven't seen him. He's like 6'8".
Okay.
He's a monster.
I was like, again, going over my head, David.
He's one of the few players I've ever met where it's just like, oh, wow, you're
Oh,
big.
Urtai. Urtai's gonna take down 263. He's gonna take down Ox as well. It looks like there it is. An RU-251 dropping down both those tank destroyers, and now Googlybobbers is in the lead as far as HP. As far as tanks go. HP though still goes over to high voltage. They're chasing down zombie food. He looks like he's gonna get out of there as well. Tiger Thief not going to catch up in time. He's gonna expose himself to a lot of shots to try to take the 50-51, and zombie food is gonna finish him off for it. Way too greedy coming out there from Tiger Thief. And now it's up to Bird Thief and Blue Boys captains to finish out this match 4-on-2. Can they do it? Or can Googlybobber hold? They are on defense as well, so Googlybobber in a great position here. Bird Thief finally takes down Zombie Food there, and now he's looking for Viral, who is spotted just becoming unlit. 7 Tesla's got to be careful, though. Blue Boys captain, line her up, looking for the shot. Let's see if he can find it. Takes the shot, and that takes on the SB1, now tying it up 2-2. So now the favorite tipping back into high voltage, as they have plenty of time, still over half the match, to cap or take down this bat chat and this RU-251.
So they need to put the I-7 on cap and leave, well, Bird need to probably back up a little bit back to the rock, but he could just go, he can go all out for it. It's not the safest route, it's not the most guaranteed route, but it'll work. Pretty guaranteed. You can't really come over the north and get a reset there without coming into the I-7 shot solution, so all you're looking for is somebody here in the middle to guarantee that you can see anything coming and that you can get shots on it before it can reset. And that's really all Bird is here for. So high voltage handling at least this part of it very correctly. I was taken aback. I started joking around a little bit because it looked like they were wide open for the victory there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just like...
And just fumbled a couple little things, or perhaps Googlybobbers made a good play at the right time in the right place. All of a sudden, things were just different. Did not see. Did you catch what exactly transpired there?
I thought Tiger Thief went very aggressive to get a kill. He paid heavily for it. And I honestly was like, oh wow, this might be Googlybobbers coming back.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. A player overplaying and catching a weird position. This right here is part of why Bird Thief's position is a little bit tricky. Now, Airtie is going to come on in all the way from behind. And if he plays this right, he can get the reset on Blue Boys in a very troubling way and get away, as Bird is focused entirely on the east. Viral's trying to slip in one step at a time. Can Airtie reset this enough?
Is the question.
I don't know. Well, nobody does, but I don't think so. It's certainly doable. The RU-251 against a bunch of heavies can pull this kind of thing off. It does have the view range and the camo differential to get this stuff off. Bird taking out Viral in the east.
That's huge.
Certainly makes a big difference. Bird probably now wise to the idea that he should aim in the opposite direction. You can actually see Blue Boys. Blue Boys getting spotted. Knew it was from the west immediately. Juke just a tad. 10 seconds left. Airtie's going to get another shot off. Blue trying to get into a place where he can't be spotted as easily, or at least he's going to be hauled out in that I-7.
Wow.
And there's no way Airtie's going to penetrate that. But if he fires HE in here, make it the reset. Either way, no dice. Great jukes by Blue. That's going to extend this 4-2 in favor of high voltage.
There he goes. Cap going down to 0. High voltage, David said, picking up their 4th victory of our 3rd match of the night.
We're going to have to get into the next battle very, very quickly so that I can draw what happened in game 1.
Cool.
It's still...
you still just want to let it... Yeah, just let it out.
I got to let it out.
I got to let it out. Absolutely. Stats?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do some stats.
Zambi with 2.9 in his TVP. 7 Tesla 2.2. Viral 1.6. And everybody else fairly low. And when I say that, it doesn't mean it was a bad game for them. They may have done some critical stuff. Just saying. They just didn't have a lot of damage.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the only metric we're seeing here. Yeah. 4 high voltage. That's Tiger Thief with 2.7. Blue Boys with 2.5. Bird Thief with 2.4. Ox with 2.3. And everybody else below 1.2.
All right.
Give that. So, just waiting for that battle to get started. Draw on the map here.
Let's just wait. Let's just see.
Draw on the map here. I'll explain a little bit of it. I mean, we saw wall hacks in the west on screen. We had that shot as he went very, very crazy for the scout. That's not bad from him. That's exactly what he's supposed to do. They already made contact, and they know everything else is down there. He's trying to light stuff very deep into those bushes, or at least identify where they are and that they can't be shot.
What was
for
that?
the rest of his team to unload it or make a decision.
Was that wasn't suicide scouting, was it? It seemed. I mean, it seemed like it.
It might as well be.
Okay.
You can do it without dying.
Okay.
But you're intentionally
You
making
gotta
a
be a
trade there that
mouse.
says my life is worth the information I'm about to get.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
It's actually another route to do it that's awesome, but it was blocked by 2 tanks, so we couldn't take it.
Not so awesome unless you just jump them,
Here we go.
which you can't do. But right now, it's about to get underway. So David can start telling us what happened on that first battle. High Voltage just needs one more victory to close out their 3rd match of the night. Let's see if they can do it right now, or if Googlybobbers can keep it alive. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Nope, starting with a board. All right, so
Oh,
we had
snap.
2 heavy tanks here for Googlybobbers at the time. Actually, maybe it was a heavy, whatever. You had 2 tanks there and 1 here. Everybody else is like down in this region, right? So Wallhacks came, saw the light, they bounced off the 260. He then came down here. You saw that this ridge was very low. This ridge can't fire that way without coming up and over. All High Voltage had to do was take a lot of tanks in and circle those 2 guys. They would have
Done.
got 2 pickups, probably gotten this guy, leave a couple back here to guarantee anybody who pokes up on this pedestal's getting shot at. And they can get some motion down to here, box everybody into this area, and just whittle them down one by one with numerical advantage. Cake. It's just when you have 2 tanks just lying in wait for an overmatch.
Yeah, I can
It's so
I can
easy
see
to
why
do.
you're. I mean, I can see why you shake your head with that because like that was it. That was your opportunity.
That line down the 4 line, well, we got plenty of time to draw. I mean, they're just going in complete opposite directions. That line down the 4 line is actually a great place for the RU-251 to get in for those scouts if he's trying to scout the stuff down here, because he can use the inside of that ridge as protection and get in there. All he needs is a tank over here to shoot anybody that pokes up from there. So you can get spreads like this kind of stuff. And you can just unload into that.
yeah.
Those positions are a little bit outdated, and they depended on tanks like T-32s and whatnot. But the general idea is still the same. You can tweak it around a little bit. And I feel comfortable nitpicking the High Voltage on this completely because they know better. And I guarantee you that was going to be one of the first things they talked about immediately is why didn't we take this overmatch? Wally was probably a little bit frustrated that he dragged so much attention. I mean, they're going to be shooting him, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So that leaves the other guys just...
Well, if you are Googlybobbers, is it wise to shoot him? Or
Yes.
Okay.
You just take them while you can.
Okay.
You got to be careful with the other vectors, and you also need to guarantee your TVPs probably to pull back to unload on anybody who comes up and over the middle. It's not to say that there aren't answers for the Southwest. It's going to be a very uncomfortably close fight, but if you do it with certainty and you penetrate your shots, you will win the DPM per HP relationship over time.
Wow.
It's just you got to know it to do it.
And that's the confidence that you kind of come into. It's just like you know, taking the team, be like, guys, we can do
And
this.
it was the
Just
same
go.
thing for them in game 2. Both 263s stepped up. I was actually surprised 263s got there so fast. So that's why I thought they were going to go west. I thought they were a little bit slower.
Okay.
But up and over like that in early initiation, and then the mediums were too busy dancing. And it's just one of these things where you look at it, and you have to understand, positionally, you're going to have all 7 of your guns on target faster than the other team, and a number of them have nowhere to go.
It's done.
And that means those guys hit your shots. Just take the damage you're going to take and hit your shots.
That's a
and
tank
in a
gone.
full-out knuckle brawl, you will win.
Gotcha.
But that is the
Hard to train into people.
It triggers something in me because this is the struggle in North America. North American server, there are a lot of people who use XVM, a lot of people who snipe people with certain clan tags. So it's essentially like your tank gives out gold. You're a good player, everybody just hammers you the instant they see you. This is not necessarily true on the Russian and European servers as much. European, yes. Russian, pretty much no.
Okay.
I've watched some games. People like Strike just drive across the middle of a map in an IS-4. And
No
you
one- no
get
one
people who can't even
bothers.
penetrate them from behind. And you're like, what are you doing? And this gets reflected in their play as they do things with confidence that American players just won't do because their experience says otherwise, right? So they get used to doing this
wall
sniping
hacks.
stuff. Where did
Bye.
that even happen?
Stone Delta taking him out. Let's see, where did he die? Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay, yeah, on top of the hill. That makes a lot of sense.
I think I was in that bush from the beginning. Oh, scout down. Sorry, David, but you're saying continue.
All I was saying is North American players like to snipe a lot. They like to poke. They don't like to be the one that takes the damage. They want somebody else to do it for them. So one of the hardest things to train in them is positive trades, battle buddies, but most importantly, when to just look at a 7v7 for exactly what it is. We've got autoloaders, they don't. Let's step up and just make sure we hit our shots in the autoloaders, and it's GG,
And it's
boys.
good. Right.
And you can train for months, and it just doesn't sink into some people's heads. High Voltage doesn't typically have that problem, which is why I feel 100% confident just criticizing for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't. I don't like to
Discourage team.
I don't want to beat down teams that need encouragement more than anything else.
Sure.
But with High Voltage, they know better. They're going to be harsher on themselves than I ever will, and I know them. And it's fine.
Yeah. There's that relationship that goes outside of just the game, outside of the business professional. You got a lot of you guys. I mean, you can talk daily, on a daily basis with most of these guys. So definitely trust your judgment there. Anthief spotting out Valkyrie, spotting out Anthief, kind of going back and forth. Tuxzilla and 7 Tesla running around. Again, they are on offense. They're starting to put some cap rush with the T-22 over in the north. Urtai taking a shot there from Bird Thief. RE251 dropping to 557. And now the E3. We have here, you guys see on high voltage, is that driven by Arclet. That tank destroyer there. If that pops over the top of the railroad, is that thing just going to be gone the moment? Weak, brittle armor.
The TVP, you're saying?
The E3.
E3.
It's fine. Great.
E3 does not have brittle armor or weak armor.
Great.
It's just a monster.
Oh. Gotcha.
You're mixing it up with a different tank, aren't you?
Gotcha. Yep. I just looked at the map and was like, oh, it's a tank destroyer. Like, oh, yeah, that thing's awesome.
Which tank did you think it was?
The Leopard 1. I'll just say that.
Well, you're definitely right
glass
there.
armor.
Yeah, sometimes talk for hours, and sometimes you just say something, and you're like, why did I even say that? I don't even agree with that.
Yeah.
No, whatever.
Sometimes you do confidently.
And then other times, gotta sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gotta say it confidently.
Viral, exposed to 2 IS-7s, maybe. Nope. Getting in a shot over here in his T-22. Another one of those terrain situations. He's sitting at a slight depression at the end of a pretty long ridge. He's going to get some pretty decent shots.
Zone Delta going down here. One more shot away. Let's see if he can. Yeah, Blue Boys captain picks him up there. Wasn't able to get the full clip off in that 50-51. Tiger Thief quick and take it down Urtai. And now High Voltage taking the lead as far as tanks go, but not HP. Googlybobbers still about 2,000 ahead.
2,000 indeed, but way behind in the gun battle.
Ooh, there we go. Tuxzilla.
That is what matters the most.
The Googlybobbers pushing now over the center of the map. They're just trying to take down Bird Thief and Anthief. They feel like they can take down this IS-7 before they take too much damage forward. Tesla, good round, lines up the shot. She finds it. And that is this IS-7 down, but Arclet takes down Valkyrie. View us for that. And now 4 tanks for Googlybobbers against the 5 for High Voltage. Anthief, though, looks like he'll be going down pretty quickly here. Oxthief doing his best to try to take down 7 before he can, but Tuxzilla gonna finish off that IS-7, and now it is a 4-on-4. HP-wise, still in favor of Googlybobbers, but the time, 1 minute and 10 seconds, is all that's left. And man, Zombie Food taking a lot of damage there from Arclet and Oxthief. 7 Tesla as well, dropping to 65, and that 140, one more shot. Should be going down here. 60 seconds on the clock. Googlybobbers has to take down these remaining 4 members or get on cap quick, which is not an option at this point. Oxthief finds 7 Tesla. Tuxzilla looks like he'll find Blue Boys captain here. No, Viral picks that one up. And the shot into Tux not quite connecting. Oh, 42 seconds. It's gonna be close. It's gonna come down to the wire here. Tuxzilla finds Tiger Thief. High Voltage now down to 2 tanks, 3 on the side of Googlybobbers, and they know exactly where those 2 remaining tanks are. Oxthief, 459 going to him. Arclet finds Zombie Food. Now he can maybe start running, or maybe he stays there. Oh no, he's guarded.
Back up.
He is guarded by the railroad tracks. He's gonna let Oxthief do his thing. 18 seconds on the clock. Viral's got to take the shot. Already on the move, but the track, beautiful there coming out. Oxthief. Oh, actually, Oxthief bouncing a shot from Viral. And he's lining this one up. And as the clock goes down, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be High Voltage's 5th victory of our 3rd match of the night. Viral finding Oxthief is irrelevant there. Congratulations to them for that pickup, but close.
That was a weird game.
Yeah.
Like, the match set as a whole wasn't all that weird. That last game was weird.
Yeah. We talked.
No other way for it.
We drew.
No other word for it.
We drew. We laughed. We watched some tanks explode. It was a weird battle.
Let's go to stats. Ox Thief with 4.4 thousand damage in his E5.
Thank you.
Ugh. Blue Boys with 2.9. Arkler with 2.2. Tiger Thief with 1.6. For Googlybobbers, Tuxilla with 3,000. Or should I say 3.9. Zone Delta with 2.6, 2.3 out of Zombie Food, 1.7 out of Viral, 1.5 out of 7 Tesla.
All right, there. Fantastic play indeed. Oh, were you talking about weird not because of the overall match, but just the players and what they were doing? Is that what you meant?
Yes.
Cool.
Strange, just like that question was. Equally weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, the third match is done. Our fourth and final match, Noble versus 07. It's coming right up.